Previously on Pokemon Black, no experience. Yeah, it seems the time for subtlety is over. N is going all out here. And trust me when I say, this battle is going to be tough. The Pokemon that's about to come out now, I fear this 100 times more than I fear Zekrom. A Klinklang. Wow, why am I so terrified of something with a completely non-existent move pool? Wait a minute, that didn't make the super effective sound. That's not a Klinklang! Sorry, Zoroark, you didn't fool anyone. Goodbye. Yes, in fact I do. I've already got rid of the worst thing in this fight, but believe me, this fight is far from over. Goodbye, Ice Cream. Good riddance. You do that much damage even with a resisted type beam, it's just not worth it. Great. Okay, Klinklang is most certainly gone, and I believe N only has one Pokemon remaining. His last friend, which is more than capable of ending me if I'm not careful, or if his AI isn't a complete and total moron. Yeah, thanks for using Crunch on me there. Really appreciate it. It's over. It's finally over. N is defeated, Team Plasma's plot is foiled, and everyone lives happily ever after. Or do they? You've probably already figured this out by now, but, Getsus, well, there was a little more to him than we thought. And yes, he's not even trying to be subtle anymore. It was all lies. And, uh-oh, that's not good. And now, the thrilling conclusion. There is one final challenge to take on. I can stop trying to hide it. This is indeed the real final battle. And by the way, this might not seem that obvious, but N just healed you there. You'll find out when you go into the next battle, believe me. But anyway, and as you can see in this shot here, Getsus here's kind of lost all subtlety. He's gone for the full milking the giant cow gesture, as if he's going, finally, I can actually show my villainness now. Anyway, his first Pokemon is Cofagrigus, and this is the reason why I kept Excadrill out in first. The reason being, this Cofagrigus is a Toxic Staller. However, Toxic does not work on Steel types at all. This means that, like Zekrom before it, this Cofagrigus is essentially free setup. The only thing it can do to me is Shadow Ball, and that, as you can see, is not much. So again, like Zekrom before it, this Cofagrigus is essentially free setup for Excadrill, and I am going to need it because I'll just get it out of the way right now. I'm going to need my X items for this. You will see why in a moment. But anyway, I feel kind of bad about this one because part of me still thinks that I cheaped out of this. But it was either that or use Reshiram, and I really didn't want to use Reshiram. It's just that, okay, now that I've got the 3 Swords Dances up, I believe I will need to use all 3 of my remaining X speeds. There is a certain Pokemon that comes out after this one that, like Zoroark, I have to take out immediately or I lose, no questions asked. Think that's Zoroark, but worse. It's basically got super effective coverage across my entire team. That could be bad. Across my entire team, outspeeds everything, and there is literally zero hope of me beating it at all without these X speeds. I feel really bad about this, but honestly, this was the only option I saw. The Pokemon that's coming out next, I felt that in a no experience challenge with the levels that I have, literally impossible without resorting to this. And yeah, part of me feels bad, but I think it was really the only way I could have done this. But anyway, as you can see, this Cofagrigus likes to spam Protect. Yes, it is smart enough not to use Toxic on me, but yeah, it pretty much can't do anything to me, really. Yeah, it can be annoying for something that's not Steel, but yeah, Steel types totally wall this thing, unless it starts doing that. I don't really care if he's going to spam Protect. I'm going to get him eventually, so, you know, prolonging the battle by a few turns doesn't really faze me very much. Goodbye, Cofagrigus. Now, what's next? Yep, the big one. Getsus's Haxtrigon. Yeah. Haxtrigon is the word. And I believe this is one of those cases where X-Scissor is going to be doing slightly more than a stab Earthquake, so I'm going to go for it. Anyway, this Hydreigon is, I believe, 10 levels lower than the level it is supposed to fully evolve at. So yes, Getsus, not only is he a child abuser, he is also a hacker. yeah, Hydreigon is down, and I feel very bad about this, but if I did not do that, I would have lost my whole team. Honestly, there was no way I could possibly win against Hydreigon. Now, this Buffalont, Menace has a bit of a weird team, I must say. Like, this Buffalont, I'm really sorry, but I feel really bad for taking out half his team like this, but I felt that this Buffalont needed to go too. There was honestly nothing that could wall this. It was pretty much super effective against everything I had, which is just really weird. So, as much as it pained me to say it, that Buffalont, like, if it didn't have Poison Jab, I reckon Green Blade could have taken him. But as it stands, it did have Poison Jab. And I honestly felt that it could have pretty much swept me if I didn't do that. So I kind of feel like I wussed out of half of his team. I really do apologize for that, but I am trying my best to make it so the rest of the battle is as fair as possible. That would have won it KO'd anyway, I didn't need that critical hit. Anyway, the Seismitoad is down. I believe that thing has Rain Dance if you let it get going. Now, this thing, Electros is actually quite nasty. No weaknesses and a very wide move pool. You'll see here it has a lot of dangerous moves on it, and it's actually quite a threatening Pokemon. It's got decent stats in both physical and special, and has a really weird move pool as well. Things like Acrobatics, Crunch, Flamethrower, I believe it even gets Grass moves. This thing is actually quite a threat, so, yeah. Don't bother trying to use Earthquake on this thing, it is immune, unless you somehow happen to have Mold Breaker. But anyway, Wild Charge is its main form of physical attack, does quite a significant chunk of damage. Kind of funny that he goes into his quote now of all times, because that was his first non-KO HP loss. Happened to be from himself. I find that really fitting. I will say that in my very first playthrough of this game, Ghetsis defeated himself in a way that I found could not be any more fitting. His last Pokemon was this Electros, and it KO'd itself with Recoil. I always found that just such a fitting way for him to be defeated. Like, his abuse of his own Pokemon comes back to bite him. I just found that so fitting. But anyway, this could be problematic. Green Blade really does not like Acrobatics, and if it weren't for Acrobatics, they'd really be able to tank this thing with just about everything it's got. Now, hopefully it does not use Acrobatics on the Switch here. What I was really hoping for there was a Crunch or something, so I could get the Justified boost. It did not go for the Crunch. I'm pretty sure it does have Crunch, but anyway. Hopefully I am faster and will take it out before it has a chance to do anything. Of course, I could be an idiot and use Reflect, and although I might have been quite stupid here. Oh boy, let's just hope this doesn't come back to bite me. Yep, I may have temporarily derped and forgotten had Acrobatics. Either that or I was sacrificing just to get the Reflect up. I probably could have finished it if I had hit it with a Sacred Sword. So I feel like I was a bit of a derp there, but I'm starting to think that maybe that Reflect might be helping me in the long run. Okay, don't use Earthquake, don't use Earthquake. Oh wow, I am fast. Okay, if Excadrill is faster than this thing, then just about everything should be. Wow! Okay, yeah, maybe I couldn't have finished it with Sacred Sword, actually. Yikes, this thing is powerful. I mean, defensive, and you are gonna heal now, aren't you? Yeesh, this is bad. Very bad. See, look, I'm already having trouble here, even though I wussed out of half his team, so don't, think I was being a complete and total wuss here, because believe me, this was a very tough battle. Very tough battle. His bare minimum level is 10 times higher, well, not 10 times, 10 levels higher than our maximum, so believe me when I say this was a difficult battle, and even sort of almost wussing out. I believe Buffalont was the only one I really wussed out of, because Hydreigon, there is no way to win other than cheaping it out like that. There really isn't. Hopefully I'll be able to take this thing down. This is getting very bad. Okay, let's see if I can finish you. Ooh, that Reflect might just have saved me now that I think about it. Because without that Reflect, I definitely couldn't have... Okay, let's hope for a Recoil kill here. Recoil kill. Go for... What? Okay, I guess you are actually smarter than I thought. Wow, that was actually kind of interesting. He didn't go for the Recoil kill then. And I can probably just Psychic you, but I know the next Pokemon that he's going to send out, and it's not good for Eggogi, believe me. See, I'm already down to just 2, and I swept completely with X items half of his team, and I am still down on the back foot here. this, believe me when I say, I hope you can forgive me for using those X items, because this battle is hard, really hard. Now he is sending out Bishop, and here's where we have a slight problem. Despite the fact that I am 4 times super effective on this thing, it knows Metal Burst. If I don't want it KO, I am just about dead. And I didn't want it KO. Oh crap, this is bad. Except not! Unite Slash and activate my Justified. Yes! Let's do this! Justice, finish the... Wait a minute, I didn't even need Justified. He finished himself on my Rocky Helmet. Somewhat of an anticlimactic win, but I will take it. It's over. We won. Guess there's just nothing left to do but sit back, enjoy the ending, and... Hold on just a minute there. Oh no, not you again. Yes, it's me, Lysandra. You see, being immortal and trapped beneath a pile of rubble gets boring after a while, and I thought I'd pass the time by doing something interesting. You may have defeated my good friend Dennis, but that was only one possible future. Let me show you what would have happened if things had gone just slightly differently. On Lysandra's Villain Channel. Okay, no need to rub it in. Yes, I did in fact lose to Dennis several times. And I'll show those failed takes here. Now this first failed take is going to be all about exactly why I use those X speeds. So, as you saw with Zoroark in the end battle, here's what happens if you don't take out Hydreigon with judicious use of X speeds. I'll just cut out the Koffagrigus battle because there isn't really much more to say about this. It's pretty much the exact same fight every time. He pretty much can't touch you, so you just set up Swords Dances and KO him. I'll just cut ahead. And Koff, unable to be traded on the GTS, Grigus goes down, and Hydreigon comes out. And you're about to see just why I had to use all of those X speeds. This is what happens when you don't do that. Hint, it's not pretty. Trust me. Yeah, this Hax Dragon is, not only is it infamous for being 10 levels lower than it should be, but, the fact that, it's actually pretty darn powerful. And that's kind of an understatement. It's got massively wide coverage, incredibly powerful, and a lot of pretty powerful moves as well. And of course, it just happens to hit with most of its really strong moves as well. So, I go for a Bulldoze here to see if I can actually get it down to more manageable speed for my team. But unfortunately, Terrakion gets one-shotted by Focus Blast again. Yeah, this thing is basically N Zoroark version 2.0. Funny thing some people have pointed out about this Hydreigon is, its moveset seems pretty much adapted to take down N's entire team. So, that leads to some disturbing implications. Some people think that this Hydreigon was specifically designed to dispose of N's team should he prove useless. So, that's a disturbing thought, but considering Getsus, I would not put it past him. Anyway, yep, I am slower, I get Fire Blasted, and due to my terrible special defense, this is gonna one-shot me. Yeah, this is pretty much setting the tone for By this point, you'll pretty much realize, yeah, I basically had to use those X speeds. I pretty much concluded this Hydreigon is downright impossible if you don't just nuke it with X speeds immediately. Because honestly, yeah, there's no way I can possibly beat this thing. There seriously isn't. Now, Tornadus can survive one shot because I don't think this thing has anything super effective against him. However, he only does just barely. I managed to get a really good hit in there, critical hit, and apparently Dennis was expecting that critical hit, but anyway. Unfortunately, though, there is a bit of a problem. I was really honestly hoping that I could actually take this thing out, maybe with, like, Virizion or something, or a Goggy. Maybe I can get a screen up. Now, annoyingly, this thing does resist both of my only attacking move, which is bad, but hopefully I can Thunder Wave it. Now, I'm really stupid. I can't believe I didn't think to Thunder Wave this thing before, because that might have saved me a lot of hassle. Unfortunately, it's probably not going to save me that much of a hassle, actually. I pretty much need to either heal or switch out here, because, I honestly can't do anything. As you can see here, this is my best shot, and it does virtually nothing, yeah. Anyway. And you're paralyzed. So, I kind of didn't want you to be paralyzed, because I kind of wanted you to finish this, to finish me quickly, because I really can't do anything to you. But I guess, there's nothing much to do but switch out and just desperately hope my special defense can tank whatever you're going to send at me, and then I can take you out with a Sacred Sword. At least that was the plan. So, Dragon Pulse, which doesn't look anywhere near as awesome as it does in X and Y, I might add. Sacred Sword, this should take it out, right? Actually, no. And about here was when I realized, yep, I'm doomed. I'm officially doomed. Because we all know what's going to happen next turn, don't we? Yeah, there's basically no way we're getting through this. We all know what's going to happen. Let's just get it out of the way. Yep, full restore. I believe he has 4 full restores, but like Anne, he's a little hesitant to use multiple full restores in the same Pokemon. Anyway, I really just wanted to get this over with, honestly, and, you know, by this point, I pretty much just outright quit, because there was no way I was winning. Yeah. That's what happens if you don't nuke the Hydreigon at the first possible opportunity. Like in Zoroark, there is pretty much no way to actually beat it with a team this low levels, so I basically had to just use X speeds. A little annoyed about that, but it was really the only option. Now, the next one I'm going to show you, I will cut out the Koffagrigus fight once again, and this time I did use X speeds, but this time I didn't take out the Buffalons. This next battle is going to demonstrate why I did what I did to Buffalons as well as Hydreigon. You'll see in a bit. Of course, I still feel like I have to leave the awesome intro in. I must say, this battle music, I guess I should probably talk about... I'm pretty much obliged to talk about this battle music. Of course, it's infamous among the fandom for bringing us this guy's alternative name, which pretty much everyone now knows him as, due to the ominous chanting sounding like, pretty much like... Dennis. Anyway. This... I must admit, this battle theme is really appropriate for the mood here. It just is downright terrifying. It's something like nothing the Pokemon series has ever attempted before. It is so unsettling and creepy. It's just... like, the whole thing practically consists purely of just drums and chanting. There's pretty much nothing else in the music at all, except for maybe a few sort of bells here and there. It's just really unsettling, and it honestly makes you feel like this... you feel this huge, almost sense of hopelessness here. Like, this is not like one of those final battles where the music really spurs you on to victory, when it's like, I have to do this, the fate of the world is resting on me. No, this almost feels like, oh crap, we're all screwed. And it really goes to show, just makes this guy just that much more terrifying. I still maintain that while Lysandra's goals were probably creepier than Ghetsis' is creepier as a character, And he's still, to me, probably one of the most memorable villains in the Pokemon series. In fact, apparently TV Tropes is now no longer considering him for the complete monster trope. And I honestly cannot believe that. I seriously think he deserves it. He really, really does. He's certainly by far the most horrifically evil figure in the entire Pokemon series. Except maybe Mystery Dungeon Darkrai, but I haven't actually played that game. Apparently Mystery Dungeon Darkrai is pretty terrifying too, but anyway, I still think, yeah. Anyway, and in fact, I'm not actually going to need to cut out. Sorry, I spent so much time talking about the music and stuff here. Again, I felt like I needed to do that. Now, a weird thing was that, when this music was first revealed, no one realised it would be for an actual human boss fight. Most people assumed this would end up being the music for an event legendary, like, probably most likely Genesect. Deoxys got his own, got its own battle music, and so did Arceus, and both of them were quite ominous and in a similar style to this. So I can understand why people would end up thinking that, but it turned out that, yeah, it was actually Ghetsis' battle theme all along, so that was actually quite surprising. Now, here's where I switch out, because I think, you know what, I'm not actually going to, theoretically, I could just sweep his whole team right now, but, you know, that's not my style. I wouldn't do that. That's just way too cheap. But anyway, this Buffalon here. This Buffalon, for some reason, he aimed Head Charge at a Steel type, and one shot. Yeah, do not underestimate Head Charge. Buffalon's Head Charge is ridiculously strong. Trust me, I've had that happen in, yikes, in the Battle Maison, well, you're expecting to KO me. That's not reassuring at all. Anyway, in the Battle Maison, I've actually had, a Buffalon's use Head Charge, and I believe do more than 50% to Kellum the Chestnut, who you've probably seen in my Wi-Fi videos. Considering that was the best physical tank that I have trained up so far in X and Y, seeing it take over 50% from Head Charge is very, very scary, and yes, you should basically fear Head Charge. Now, I am setting up Reflect here. The problem is, it's actually not going to help that much. Head Charge still does more than half my health, even with Reflect. In fact, it does about 75% with Reflect. Yeah, don't underestimate Buffalon, it is ridiculously strong. Not only that, but it also has a couple of other really, really annoying moves, such as this, Poison Jab. If it weren't for this move, Virizion could probably tank this thing quite... Actually, Head Charge does more. Okay, so I guess that's fine. Unfortunately, does have a chance of poison, and of course the poison kicks in, and that's very, very bad for me. So hopefully this Sacred Sword does a lot, but unfortunately not so much, and you're going to get full restored, aren't you? Now that I've lost Green Blade, my hopes against Seismitoad are seriously dashed, and unfortunately it did not KO itself, which means he's going to get healed, which is very, very bad. Now, yes, I'm going to exploit the heal here for a free work-up, but it's probably not going to do me that much good because I highly suspect this thing has Earthquake. So yes, once again, exploiting the healing for a free stat boost move. So annoying that work-up is basically the best thing we have for a stat boosting move before the post-game. Anyway, that does a little more than half, and what? You are a moron! I have no idea why he did that, because Ghetsis' AI is usually pretty smart. You might notice that he never attempted to use Toxic on Excadrill. Suddenly think that it makes sense to use Poison on this Steel type. Right then. This could be bad, considering that you probably have Earthquake and are going to use it. Yep, Earthquake, I called it. This is bad. Now, I have good physical defense, but am I going to tank this? Yes, I am. Nice. Now, let's see how much this does. Probably not that much. And oh, that was with one work-up too. Wow. Yep, you see just how dangerous this guy's team is? Yeah, it's about here that our level disadvantage is really starting to show itself. In fact, I don't think we've ever had this big of a level advantage this whole challenge, and that's why these final battles are so difficult. It's just massive level advantage here. Yeah, I'm a little scared now, I must say, and I still got Psychic on there from the Marshall fight. I don't really think I need that anymore, actually, but... Oh dear, it's raining now, and that means those muddy waters are gonna... I really don't see why this thing has muddy water and not surf. I guess it learns... Why did I do that? Why did I do that? Stab Shadow Ball would have done more. I'm being an idiot, aren't I? Yes, I am. I'm being very stupid. Oh, I hate past me sometimes. Oh, wait a minute. That's why I did that. I wanted to make sure that he did not, go into healing range. I love past me sometimes. Anyway. See, I did have a plan then. Yeah, sometimes you want to deliberately use weaker moves just to put them out of full restore range. There are some people who use full restores in the yellow. It's quite rare, but there are a few people who will do that. And sometimes it happens kind of randomly too. And Sludge Wave, okay. I don't think Seismitoad has the best special attack, but granted, I really heavily dislike Seismitoad, so I've never really used it that much, so I wouldn't really know. Anyway. I believe Seismitoad is actually not that bad in rain, but still. Going into a Storm Ward here. Please don't critical me. I have a feeling it's going to happen sometime soon. Okay, does that much. Wow, okay, so it does not one-shot me with rain. That's good. Oh, you're faster than me, damn it. And of course I can't Thunder Wave this thing because it's part ground. So that's annoying. And, oh great. You're faster, you have moves super effective against me. I'm gonna lose to Toxicroak, aren't I? Unbelievable. Losing to Toxicroak, of all things. Maybe it's paying me back for disliking it, seriously. Toxicroak, really? And I lost to Toxicroak. And I had to pay out money to Dennis. That's totally gonna end well. Oh yes, those were my failed attempts against Dennis Harmonia. I remind you, Lysandra, that those didn't happen. Those were the alternate futures that could have happened, but what really happened was that I defeated Dennis, and the world was saved. Ah, damn it. Why do you heroes always have all the fun? I guess that just goes with being a generic villain, doesn't it? Yeah, you do that, Lysandra. You just go back to being immortal under a pile of rubble. Anyway, I'll see you again next time for the ending credits and my final thoughts on this entire project. See you then!